Welcome to Emotion Ships, where we talk about the real reason everything happens for a reason. I'm your host, Charlie Carroll, along with my lovely co-host, Mallory Redmond, and a guest today to kick off episode 25, Emotion Ships, episode 25. Ladies and gentlemen, the lovely Richfresh. Everybody clapping
We're
for
both
Rich.
lovely.
Yeah.
Fresh.
Wow.
Fresh, welcome to the podcast.
25 is like my favorite. That's my magic number.
And you're here.
Yeah, 5
Look
square.
at that. We didn't even plan that.
It's on my fucking finger.
We're talking energy,
No
baby.
way. It's
5 squared, yeah. And this little symbol next to it is like
You're gonna have to show the cameras because they're gonna watch
Oh,
this. Yeah.
so this.
Yeah,
so the
ladies,
5
ladies and gentlemen, we're starting episode 25 off. Just
with a lot of love.
here we go.
started off right.
Go ahead. 25 for you. Yes.
Yeah, it's always been my number. I've always been fascinated with multiples of 5 and particularly 25.
Okay.
Yeah.
We just got done talking about episode 21. It seems like yesterday, where 21 is my number. I was born on the 21st. Mal has some associations with the 21st as well, but
High school boyfriend.
25.
Yeah.
Here we are.
That's wild. I love it.
Fresh is in town, came in town from all the way from Los Angeles, where yesterday I heard that everything is being shut back down. Do you think you'll get back to California?
I better. Shit. Yeah, I don't think we'll have a problem getting into California.
Yeah. So Fresh is in from California,
Los
where
Angeles, baby.
we will talk about all that he does as an entrepreneur and philanthropist. But first, let's talk about Body Garage Dayton really quick. In town to get some work done, some energetic work done on a very energetic person. Talk to me about Body Garage Dayton and how your visit has been so far.
So far, it's been great. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't do any research. I like to go into things without doing research and just be surprised.
Sure.
And it's been great, There were some parts that I wanted to speed up really quickly.
Yeah, sure.
But, they're necessary, breaking up like all the tension. It's like, it's tough, but it teaches you how to tap into something different. I don't know. Just like my energy level, just yesterday, we went through all that yesterday. I didn't need a nap at all. Like my energy was just like fired up. I would usually be so groggy at that point. This morning I woke up super energetic. I don't know, man. I've gotten a lot. It's hard to say in words because I've only gone through day one.
Sure.
But like noticing my walk and where the energy lies and how to change this and free up energy here. What spots in the body holds stress and holds this and holds toxins and how do we release that shit? I didn't know this shit.
Sure.
And it's like you're operating every day with these toxins, with these stresses, and we think that you just have to deal with them.
Sure.
These pains are normal.
Yeah, that they have to be there.
It's a nice experience to find out that it's not normal.
Yeah.
Can you kind of say what you put him through, like what he did?
Yeah. So
Torture.
Yes.
Yeah.
Torture and pleasure.
Elaborate on the torture.
So when you visit Body Garage Dayton, one of the primary reasons we established Body Garage Dayton almost 2 years ago was to work with people that were burning the candle at both ends. Yes, we do work on people that have aches and pains and want to lose weight, but what a lot of people are unaware of is that it is very easy for your body to store trauma from your past, and not just your past. And this is something that we really dove into with you, that it can actually go all the way back to our parents and grandparents. And in Fresh's case, like there was a very strong connection to your father and your father's father. And what a lot of people don't know is we inherit like what would be a template of emotional energy. And there is no one that will ever have their feet planted on this earth that do not go through tough times. And even the day and age in which we're living in right now, which we'll get into and talk about, it's so important to respond to it. Like we can't control what we go through or what happens to us, but we can control our response to it. And it's our response to what we go through that determines what our hard drive, right, which is our body, stores. And so in Fresh's case, he's going through a couple-day process where we tap into all that makes him himself. Einstein talked about all matter being energy. And so there's a lot of matter here, and in his matter or his substance are all kinds of energy. And as a protection mechanism, often the brain will take unhealthy energy and plant it somewhere in our tendons or our ligaments or our muscles. And so what we do for people is help them get back to the origins of negative energy and what that negative energy is manifesting or creating, or in some cases, probably a lot of cases, we're drawing unhealthy similarities that match the same frequency to ourselves. And so when you have a high performer that is out doing things and interacting with other energetic people, what we're trying to do is really optimize people, to include Fresh in this case, where there are the least amount of taps or drains on his energy as possible, so that he can come back and take what you're already doing and the success you've already found and take that to another level.
Yeah, it's good.
Well said.
Thank you. Thank you. But the idea is just that it's so easy, like he said, to just accept our aches and pains and some of our fears and our worries and our anxieties and live with them as if life has to be that way.
Right.
And so that's what we're passionate about at Body Garage Dayton, is getting rid of the root of those things versus always dealing with the manifestation of them. Fresh, I'm sure you deal with this with a lot of your clients and then some of your community out there in LA. Like, negative people tend to draw negative people to themselves, even if they don't want them in their life and they can't figure it out.
Negative people, negative circumstances.
Yeah.
Negative weather.
Yeah.
True.
It's all energy.
And vice versa. Positive people.
Yeah.
If it's raining, it's great.
Yeah.
If it's
100%.
hot, wow, we sure needed that.
Yeah.
If it's cold, sure are glad for this release.
Sure.
Relief, but we view the world through a different lens.
Yeah.
Let's talk about really quick the way we met, because I said in the little time that I've known you, which has been a couple of months now, I can set it up, and then how about you tell it from your perspective?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go.
So it might help also. You're going to have to push that mic a little closer to yourself or lean into it.
Yeah, like this.
Yes.
Oh, yes. That's what we're talking about,
I
ladies
have a
and
sexy
gentlemen.
voice.
Yes.
I have to get close.
Yeah. More than a pretty face.
and a sexy voice.
Well, he's more than just a suit, ladies and gentlemen.
It's
Oh,
just
yeah.
not fair.
So we are in our hospitality this past December. Our hospitality group is in New York City, the Big Apple, to visit a couple of restaurants that would inspire us here in the Midwest, so that we could bring some of the great stuff from New York back to Ohio. Mallory was on that trip. And so we're coming back from, I think, lunch or one of the restaurants one day, and we're in the ride that we had set up for us. And as we're getting out, my wife elbows me and says, "There's Richfresh." And my response was who? And she said, "The guy I've been telling you about for 2 years now. The guy that I want you to go get fitted for and go get a suit from out in LA." I said, "Oh." And sure enough, I look up, and how can you miss or mistake Richfresh?
The drip god he's
The drip
hard
god
to
right
miss.
in front of us.
Which I wasn't there with you.
No.
He was. I hear that you were wearing something pretty amazing.
Yes, it's a coat that I would like, but I don't think I'm going to fit into your coat. You're going to have to make another
Yeah,
one.
they're definitely not.
Yellow? Was it yellow?
Yeah, it was yellow and black houndstooth with stripes going from the back all the way wrapping around the front.
Yes.
We're going to pull this up on the computer so that people can see it
You
when
gotta
you
see
are.
it. It's just
Oh,
not
yeah.
fair.
Because my first thought was that's pretty impressive of your wife to recognize him. Like, I feel like Brad Pitt could be staring me in the face and I would have no idea.
Sure.
Like, I just don't recognize.
Yeah.
Well, if Brad Pitt dressed like this, you'd recognize.
But that's the thing is, like, you had the look. Of course she recognized you.
Can somebody get a hold of Brad Pitt?
Where's
Please.
Brad?
Brad,
Angie.
get over here.
Angie, where's Brad?
Get in my face.
Does Brad have the kids, or do you have the kids this weekend? Because whoever got the kids ain't doing shit but watching the kids.
Oh, that's true.
Do you want to speak to that?
That is
Mal?
absolutely true. Accurate.
So my wife says there's Rich Fresh, and sure enough, I look up and the whole story comes together. So Rich moves into the lobby of the hotel.
Fresh.
Rich Fresh, yes, ladies and gentlemen, Rich Fresh moves into the lobby of the hotel, and we get out of our car. We have a little bigger group. I have my 3 children with me, and so as we're coming into the hotel, you move toward the front desk, and we get in the elevator, and no sooner than we get up to our floor that I feel the energy, and I sense that I'm supposed to go back down the elevator and speak with him.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, well,
Right, the story gets good.
yeah.
This is a good story. I thought that you saw him at the desk and you approached him.
No, we
You went up
start
to the-
going up, and so
Okay.
because of the nature of the security firm, right, that I run, like I am around well-known people on a regular basis, and I know they don't want to be bothered. So I'm not gonna bother him. But we go up the elevator. We're getting ready to get off our floor, and I just hear that I'm supposed to go talk to him, which is not, what I would necessarily prefer. And so I say to my wife and kids, like, stay in the elevator, and I hit the button and go back down, get off the elevator, and there he is at the front desk. Take it from here, Fresh.
So there I was at the front desk.
Sure, yeah.
It's a little bit of a story. So I came to New York. A friend of mine was like, hey, you can use my spot. I'm out of town. And I was like, oh shit, cool, yeah. I'll stay at my friend's spot. So I go to the apartment in Brooklyn, and it was little. It was really little, which I didn't really mind. It's like I'm not gonna do anything but sleep. But after about 15 minutes, I couldn't find the bathroom. I couldn't find out where the bathroom was. And I looked all over the apartment, and I just did not see a bathroom. And I was like, man, I think this is one of them buildings that have a communal bathroom.
Yeah, I wouldn't be doing that.
Like,
Not the thing.
I came from a place where you had to do that communal shit. And so I was like, nah,
Yeah.
I'm not doing that anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, well, what's the nearest hotel? So I hit the nearest hotel. It was pretty nice. I don't even remember what hotel it was, but it was pretty nice. Was it a Hilton or something?
It was the legendary Roosevelt Hotel in
The
New York City.
Roosevelt.
Yes, the Roosevelt.
Shout out to Roosevelt.
Which is wild because I don't think that was your first choice of where we would. I think you were looking at a different hotel.
I was.
And so the Roosevelt was
Wow.
our second or
Yes.
third choice.
Yeah, we were supposed to be there, Fresh.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness. All right,
So-
go on.
So I go up to check in, and I don't have my fucking credit card. The one that I used to I'm like, come on, dude. But I memorized the number, so the lady was like, yo, we need your credit card to get the room. I'm like, well, shit. I memorized it. Is that good enough? And she's like,
Not gonna
Nope.
happen.
and I'm realizing they're like, damn, I got to go all the way back to Brooklyn. This is bullshit. And out of nowhere, this guy just fucking walks up next to me.
You're
all
telling
of
the
my-
filtered version.
I am?
I've listened to this on Instagram.
Okay, I'm going to tell the unfiltered version.
Oh,
So I'm frustrated, you know what I'm saying? Because like I
Sure.
want to get this motherfucking room. I'm tired. So I'm pleading with the lady like, yo, look, listen, fuck, I don't know where my card is. Like I think I fucking left it at my friend's spot, but like she wasn't budging. So anywho, in walks this guy,
White guy.
white guy.
That was the unfiltered version I was
okay.
talking about.
oh.
I mean, if we can tell. If you're watching this podcast,
You know he's white.
he's white.
Don't pay attention to his voice.
Now his voice sounds black, or maybe like. There's something Mediterranean about his voice.
Thank you. Italian, maybe. Maybe Italian.
Yeah, that's what it
Yes.
is.
Yep.
That's what it is. Italiano.
Yes.
Italiano.
A little bit of that,
I can
yeah.
see that.
You got
Yeah.
it.
Giancarlo.
Yes.
And so this white dude just fucking walks next to me, and I'm big on my space. You know what I'm saying? So
yes.
I'm like, what the fuck is
little
this
close.
dude doing so close to me? And he's like, hey, is everything okay? I'm like, bro, what the fuck? And I'm thinking he's like the manager or something. Like, dude, why the fuck are you like all in my shit? Is
yeah, in
everything
your
okay?
space.
Like, who is this guy? Is all these other people in line? Go ask him, is everything okay? What the fuck are you doing, bro? I ain't even loud yet. Not even loud yet. Had about 15 more seconds.
Yeah.
He showed up too early.
Yeah, right.
And then I noticed that he's not even dressed like management. He's like dressed in civilian clothes. So it's got to be just a person. And so I was like, all right, well, I'll tell him what's going on. Like, man, I left my shit at my friend's spot. I can't check in. It's so annoying. I know I'm holding up the line, man. It's bullshit, but I'm going to get it figured out. Give me just a second. And he's like, oh, well, shit, just use my card. And I look at him like, what the fuck? Are you, like, dude, are you serious? Like, are you serious? Like, you know how much this is?
Yeah, that's the way you said it too.
Yeah, like, the fuck? You know, I was really stunned because no one does that. Motherfucker don't want to, oh, man, I can't buy this sandwich, man. I left my cash in the car. It's $7. People be like,
That's true.
can you move, please, sir?
Right.
So this guy, you know,
Back
it's
of the
like,
line.
yeah, we talking, the rooms weren't cheap, you know.
No.
I think they weren't cheap. So this man spent a lot of money. So he puts his card up. I'm like, are you serious? And he's like, yeah, dude, it's cool. I'm like, damn, bro, I really appreciate it. He's like, dude, it's cool, bro. I know who you are. And I was like, oh, it finally happened.
Was this one of the first times that you were recognized?
No.
Oh.
But it was the first time.
Well, hold
that
on a
someone-
second. Hold on a second. Let me read the first 3 things that come up when you Google Richfresh.
Read
Ready
them.
for this? The Taylor Darling Hollywood to dress differently. That's
Oh,
number
daring,
1.
daring.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
Taylor
daring. What am I
Daring.
saying? Oh,
I am the
Wait,
Taylor
you've read
Darling.
these before. Hold on a
Oh.
second.
You Googled
Okay.
yourself?
The Taylor Daring Hollywood to dress differently. Number 2, Hollywood's premier tailor is coming to a screen near you.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Okay, more on
I don't
that.
Google
Don't
I wanna know
sleep
more
on this
that.
guy.
Oh, yeah, no.
Don't sleep on this guy.
Yeah.
3, before making bespoke suiting for celebs, ... Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
You're
Oh,
the
yeah.
real deal.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I
hate to talk about myself.
Yeah.
But go on.
I'm just going to tell you what I've heard from other people.
Sure.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. That's good.
But yeah, like that was how we met. It was super cool and took care of the room. And I just thought that was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
Get in the elevator and he and Amy and the kids in the elevator. And she's like,
Yeah, this is this is true.
yeah. And she's like, Charlie didn't know who you are. I know. I've been following you. I think you're amazing.
I was like,
Oh,
oh,
shit.
thanks, babe.
Right. Throw him, find me a bus. and
Right.
Yes.
Throw his ass. under.
Exactly.
Yeah, perfect. Really quick, why don't you just speak to actually what you do, and then we'll
Yeah.
get into how you got there here in a few minutes. But like, let's just talk about what you actually do, so our guests know.
Okay. Well, they call me the drip god, but that's not very descriptive.
Depending upon who you are.
Yeah. I make it rain. That's also not very descriptive.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I'm a tailor and I'm a designer. I'm an entrepreneur. So I have a brand. It's called Richfresh, and it is a luxury bespoke brand. We do beautiful suiting, athleisure, tracksuits, bags, just all of the above. Just really cool stuff. Nice T-shirts. You know, we're known for the yellow tab and our use of track stripes and everything. It's just sort
I
of
love
my
it.
insignia. Yeah, been tailoring since I was 19, and got into custom when I moved to San Diego.
Yeah.
And then really ramped it up once I moved to Los Angeles in 2000. Well, I moved to Los Angeles in 2013, but I ramped it up in 2014. Ran it as a different business until 2018, and then I switched things up.
Yeah.
And I created the Richfresh brand in 2018.
Yeah. One of the things that I love about you and I love about entrepreneurs is they find things that other people pass over.
Right.
And I would imagine for some, it would be easy to hear the word tailor. You know, on this program of Emotion Ships, we talk about the significance of words, and they're everything, but at the same time, they're nothing. And they're nothing because they're only an attempt to describe a reality, but they're everything in that most of us only ever intersect or interact with words based on their meaning versus the meaning they're trying to describe. And so getting into the emotionship of the word tailor, I imagine a lot of people would hear that word tailor and think, I'm above that.
Yeah.
I don't want to live my life to be a tailor. And, you know, we'll get into everything that is happening currently in our society and culture. But even as a minority, I think there would be a greater temptation to say, like, I ain't going to be a tailor. Like, I'm not going to wait on other people. And from what I know of you and what I've seen of your life, like, you have no pride and no shame, and that has allowed you to see opportunities where others haven't.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate. I do have some pride though. But
Well, pride in the good sense.
Yeah.
Nothing is beneath you, and I think that's one of the reasons why you are where you are, because you were gonna follow what you felt led to follow without being afraid of what others could think of it.
Yeah, when I was young and I chose tailoring, everyone thought I was stupid.
Sure, I bet.
I was the stupidest shit in the world. My family thought I was stupid. All my friends thought I was stupid. I just thought that it would be the coolest thing ever to be able to make clothes.
Yeah.
And I didn't start off that way. I just started off being able to fix clothes.
Sure.
Like, I would see tailors in Memphis all the time. You go to their tailor shop, and these motherfuckers couldn't sew. They couldn't thread a machine. They knew how to take halfway decent measurements, send them off to China, get something back, bullshit you on, oh, it doesn't fit. Well, you know what, man? I'd say like wear it for a few days, just let it form around you, and it'll probably fit just perfect, and come back in. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
So I never had a great deal of respect for that. And my dad had a bad experience at a tailor shop once. And this may have like impacted my decision to be a tailor. He had taken a suit to a tailor back in Memphis, a church suit. And the tailor messed it up.
Yeah.
And I remember my dad being so pissed and like just how upset he was and disappointed that like he bought something, took it to someone to fix it, and they made it worse than it was when he bought it.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, that's kind of fucked up. That was the first time I ever heard of a tailor.
Yeah.
I was a teenager. So, I never wanted to be a tailor. I wanted to be a fashion designer in high school. But when I graduated high school, I had all these scholarship opportunities, but they just seemed like, just normal shit, like the shit I didn't want to do. You know? And I think it pissed my parents off because I had like Stanford, fucking everybody. Stanford, Yale, Rhodes, Morehouse, Clark, Howard, Hampton, every school you could fucking
What
think
were
of.
these scholarships for?
They're just full academic scholarships.
Oh, academic. Okay.
Yeah. And I didn't take any of them.
Yeah.
Like, I turned all of them down. And I was like, nah, man, I really want to do this fashion thing. So, I'm 19. I had wound up going to the University of Memphis just because my mom didn't want me sitting on the couch or just in my room all day while everyone else was off at school. So I just went to the U of M. I walked on. They gave me a full ride. I did that for a year, and I was like, this is not what I want to do. I said I was going to do a certain thing, and I'm real headstrong. But I've been doing alterations out of my dorm room. Like, people found out I could sew when I was 18. So 19, I'm cutting hair.
When did you first sew, and was it a family member that got you into it, or you just picked it up and went?
So when I was 13, I started sewing when I was 13. I lived in Little Rock at the time, and I was tutoring this cheerleader. And just through a series of conversations, I was a real nerdy kid. I dressed like shit.
Yeah.
And I liked this girl, or I liked the fact that she was like the it girl. So I just asked her during our tutoring session, like, what does it take for guys to get girls? Like, I'm terrible with girls. And so she just kind of schooled me, and, she was like, yo, you should dress better. It'll probably help you get girls. So that was always my thing. I was like, okay, well, what's that called? And she was like, I think it's called fashion. I was like, okay, let's check it out. So I go to the library, and I go to the little, the card index thing you pull out.
I don't think it exists anymore.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it called?
Index? No.
Card catalog.
Yeah.
Card catalog.
Card catalog.
Yeah, that's what I meant. The card catalog.
It's so weird. But I pull it out and I look up fashion, and 2 books showed up, and they were both biographies. It was Ralph Lauren's biography and it was Calvin Klein's biography.
Oh, nice.
That was it. So I was like, well, fuck it. I'll get both of them. So I checked both of them out and I read both of them. Ralph Lauren's was boring just because like the story was boring. Not that he was boring, but the way it was written. Calvin Klein's was different. It was just more like exciting. He had like a rock star life. And he sewed. Calvin Klein could sew.
Wow.
He sewed.
Did not know that.
Yeah, he and his production partner, in the book, it said that they sewed their first runway collection. Which, it's just runway, so it doesn't have to be sewn well. It just has to give an idea of what the end result's supposed to be.
Right.
But you're 13, you don't know that. I'm thinking that he sews all the shit, like all the clothes that everyone's wearing. Calvin Klein does that.
Yeah, you're like, whoa.
Fuck, that makes all the sense in the world.
Right.
I'm going to be like Calvin Klein. I'm going to learn how to sew. Then I'm going to be fresh. So I found a sewing machine in our laundry closet. It'd been there forever. I'd always seen it in this box, but I'd never seen it used. So I just took it in my room and I just looked at it, and like, my brain works a certain way. I can look at a problem long enough and see the solution.
Right.
And so without having to ask anyone, how do you turn this thing on? How do you thread it? What's a bobbin? What's the connection between the top needle and the bobbin? Like, how do you do all this shit? I just figured it out and just learned how to use it. And I had to keep it a secret because, you know, my family was real old school. My dad's military.
Yeah.
And they would have viewed it the wrong way. So I kept it a secret for 5 years, which made me want to do it more.
Yeah.
Because I'm keeping it a secret.
Yeah.
Like, I would forego vacations. You know, my family went to Disney World all the time. I've never been to Disney because I always was like, oh, damn, I would. But, you know, I got to work this weekend. Rats. But you're taking everybody? So everyone's leaving?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you know, God, I really wish I could go, but I got to work
Sorry,
all
guys.
weekend. 4 days to just sew. And I would just, like, spend that time doing the shit. I'd make something dope, and then I'd destroy it before anyone got home.
Wow.
So I was constantly making stuff, seeing it, destroying it. Make it, see it, destroy it. That was how I did. I never kept anything. So by the time we moved to Memphis, I'm 15. I got a better understanding of fashion. I know how to sew a little bit. And so now I'm one of the best dressed kids in my new high school. And I got all the girls. Like, I'm super popular. And I'm like, oh, fuck, this is awesome. And I start helping other kids with their image. And the kids that I see like are insecure, I pull them to the side. I'd see something in them, and I'd see how I could fix them. You know, how can clothes get you the outcome that you want? Like, guys wanting to talk to certain girls, but the girls ain't paying them no attention. And I can tell this guy really likes this girl. He's a nice guy. What's the disconnect? Your branding doesn't warrant the outcome.
Yeah. It doesn't represent you.
No, you're not branded as the
Right.
person that's supposed to have what you want.
Yeah.
And so I realized that, like, clothing it's branding. It's how you brand yourself. It's how you show your value in a lot of ways. You know, like, you can have your car and shit, but most times we leave our car outside. We don't bring it inside with us. But what you bring inside, people look at, and they're going to make a decision whether you like it or not. Like, you can be filthy rich, walk in wearing sweats and a raggedy T-shirt. Motherfuckers is going to think you broke,
Sure.
period. Before they find out you're rich, they've already determined in their mind that this motherfucker broke. So I realized that, like, oh, dressing a certain way makes people perceive and treat you a certain way.
Sure.
That turned into a superpower. I did that through high school.
Well, what's interesting, two things that stand out to me is, number one, you're a very compassionate person. And it's interesting that your compassion for your father and his suit situation probably opened a door for you, you know, energetically, because it affected you because it was affecting your dad.
Oh, yeah.
And you cared about what your dad thought and felt. Literally opened a door for you that not only changed your life, but now is changing a lot of other people's lives, because at your core, you allowed what moved others to move you.
Right.
And so that really stands out to me
Yeah.
with you. And then the other thing that really resonates when talking about emotionships, and we tend to dance and interact with this outer shell on a regular basis versus going from the inside out, and like just thinking about the reality of how good you feel when you believe that what you're wearing represents who you are. Like
Absolutely.
this when you have the ability to put things on that are an accurate reflection of who you are as a person. There's, you know, growing up in the sports world, and then even in professional sports, they talk about look good, feel good.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a reality to that. Not to get into golf discussions right now, which maybe we talk about ping pong later. I don't know, but
Fuck this.
Okay.
but
Okay. Talk about pride.
I play my best golf on a course that's like really well manicured and taken care of, because there's something energetically where those that are taking care of the course spend the money and time and give attention to details,
Right.
that it pulls something out of you.
Yeah, your peak performance.
Yeah, and so just thinking about that from a clothing standpoint, like you saying that people aren't branded well, their outside doesn't represent their inside.
True. It changes the way you move. Like, when you throw on a well-tailored suit,
Right.
the right shoe, your walk is different.
Yeah.
I don't care
Oh,
what
yeah.
you say, you're walking different.
Yeah.
You're talking different. You expect people to deal with you different. But when you're wearing jeans and a t-shirt, it's like whatever, you know,
Yeah.
your walk changes. What you expect from people changes. So yeah, it's like, this makes perfect sense.
Yeah. It's, there's definitely something to be said about branding, and some brands out there, or a lot of brands, getting paid for reputation and perception versus reality, right? There are certain brands out there that people just want to have it because of the name and what it says to them,
Right.
based on other people that are wearing it. But what you can't get away from, and we don't need to get into brands here unless you want to, Fresh, is
Because I will.
it is when you put on a shoe that has taken a couple of months to be made by somebody that's making it from hand,
Right.
the way all shoes used to, or a suit, take the hype out of it. Like, there is something to be said about something that is made with good ingredients and good materials. And before the rise of the big box stores where we shipped everything out to China and have it made for, pennies, so that profit could be maximized over the person's experience, everything was made like that. That's what people were used to. And now you hear something like $300 for a pair of shoes, or $700 for a pair of shoes, or
Freak out.
Yeah, and people freak out. But the reality of it is that $300 or $700 represents what used to be and how much quality it took via time to build something that's going to last for years.
Yeah. Like, that's why I like bodegas.
Yeah.
Like, they're woven by hand. You can tell, like, artisans make these shoes,
Yeah.
Artisans make this suit,
Right.
Well,
and we've just gotten to a point where, affordable and almost even instant, where you can walk in and buy something, is the standard. But people need to understand that long before make it as affordable as possible came around, people next to you inside your community or your village were making these things, and it would take months. And so now when you hear, like, if you want a nice timepiece that you're going to be able to give to your child and your grandchild, in a lot of cases, it takes 2 years for that to be built, while one person puts all 1,500 pieces together slowly over a 2-year time period, and 100 years later, that thing lasts.
Yeah.
And we've just gotten conditioned to think that $700 shoe or that $10,000 timepiece is super unusual.
Right.
And it is unusual in that it cost a lot more than, the G-Shock watch you can buy for $150. But really what is represented there, I wish what was represented there, instead of how much it cost, is how much love was put into it.
we that's what happened when the microwave showed up. We're in a disposable society. We like shit quick,
Yeah.
and rather than spending $700 on one, I'd rather spend $100 on it and just throw it away all the time and
Right.
replace it.
Yeah.
It's like you're actually spending way more money for a more adverse experience, but we're so used to instant gratification. We don't look
Yeah.
at, like, the long-term benefit and effect of something. We
Yeah.
just look at how am I going to feel about this right now?
Sure. Well, and I think that's reflected in how we treat people in this society. That a lot of that consumeristic mentality has bled into how we treat people. And now all of a sudden, if you don't meet my needs or you have a different opinion than I do, you're out of here.
Right.
And we say regularly on this podcast, coming from the poverty alleviation community that we've ran now for 10 years, is people are not problems to be solved.
Right.
And I've seen that people are willing to jump in and try to help people because they can fix them. And if I fix you, that tells me something about me. But the moment you appear to be different or not agree with me or resistant to change, I'm done with you because I can't fix you. And if I can't fix you, I can't get that feel-good hit about my worth and my value.
Right. It's real.
Can we transition?
And we can do whatever, man.
Let's transition into the Henry Mask.
Let's do
Yes.
Henry Mask.
We have some here.
So a question that I was going to ask when you talked about being quarantined, as a business owner who makes custom suits,
Right.
when we're all quarantined, you probably don't really need a suit.
No.
So creatively, like, what was that like? You have a very creative mind.
It
So
was
what
rough.
was that experience like?
It was rough. 'Cause again, everything was just on a high. So I'm just going crazy. I'm creating all this great stuff. I got all these projects with Lena, all these amazing celebrities, athletes. And then shit, everyone's like, cancel, reschedule. I don't need that shit right now.
Yeah.
No one's leaving the house.
Right.
So I spent before we started the mask company, I'm not a person that worries, so I wasn't worried about oh my God, my business is gonna be fucked. I was just like, okay, cool. This means you have to operate differently. How have you been operating this entire time? Hand to hand. I've never had a website. I've never done e-commerce. It's always been hand to hand.
Your website looks good, by the way. I'm on it right now.
Thank you very much.
I went on it earlier.
And so I sat down and I was like, maybe this COVID, maybe this pandemic is going to force me to finally operate in a different manner. Because I was content to operate the way I've been operating, but this is forcing me to do something different. Okay, I need to have an e-commerce product. Well, what could I do? Let me just do something easy. People want to wear t-shirts and shit. So I initially put together a range of t-shirts. I'm actually wearing one of them right now. Shout out Richfresh.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And so I put together a small run of t-shirts. And one of the t-shirts in particular, I was going to sell for less than the others and donate 100% of that to families that were impacted by COVID. So that was my concept. And I'm drawing all these things and doing all this shit. And my brother was asking me to do masks. He's like, yo, do a Richfresh mask. I'm like, nope, not gonna do it.
Yeah.
Because it just seemed opportunistic. I didn't want to, my brand's super expensive. I didn't want to do a super expensive mask.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to do a cheap mask and confuse my audience.
Right.
So,
So thoughtful, man. I love it.
thank
Yeah.
you. And I was like, nah, I don't want to do that, And I was seeing other people post those copy and paste messages. Due to COVID, we retrofitted our factory to do such and such and so in response to this, and we're donating. Boom, 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 boom. I was like, get the fuck out of here. You're not doing shit. Y'all just posting this thing to get sympathy, and hope that sympathy you can get some revenue.
Right.
And I detest that way of thinking. So I was like, nah, we'll figure it out. We'll do something different. And after a couple of weeks, I didn't change my mind. I was still going to do the t-shirts. I was set on it. I'm going to do t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, real cool, fly shit. But we couldn't find masks for our staff because we still had some orders that were running. And we was like, well, we can't have them in there working the way they were. We need to move the shit, put masks on everybody. Couldn't find masks. I was like, oh, well, I'm a tailor. Let me see if I can make one. So I went down to just make one for my 15 tailors. And did that. It was dope. I was like, okay, cool. Problem solved. We can make some for our tailors. They can keep working. I showed it to a friend, just FaceTimed him like, yo, what's up, bro? Hey, look at this mask I just made. He was like, you made that? Yeah. Damn, man. I can't even find any masks. Now no one can. Shit. Man, can you make some more of those? Yeah, of course. I mean, shit, what you need? Man, I need 500. You need 500 of these? Yeah. Shit, okay. So, made 500 of them. By the time he got them, he was like, man, these are great. I need 1,000 more. I was like, what the fuck? You needed those in 2 days. So I had to get all my staff in to make these masks, and then it just kept going. We looked up in less than 2 weeks, we had done 6,000 units with this guy. And I used to be a hustler. I would have just hustled that forever back in the day. Oh, dude, let's just hustle that real quick. Hustle. But there's no longevity in the hustle. You got to turn the hustle into a thing at some point. And I remember just the car ride back to the house. We was driving back up the hill, and I just looked at my brother, and I was like, we got to do this different, bro. If we're going to do masks like this, we can't just be hustling it. We got to create a brand. It's got to stand for something. It has to have its own unique aesthetic. The whole nine. This has to be something different in the market. And they created the idea for Henry.
Where'd you get the name?
It's my last name. Yeah. So it's my brother and I. It's our last name. So our dad, I'm a perfectionist. It's just my nature. Our dad was a perfectionist, an avid perfectionist. It had to be perfect or it just wasn't right. If I I could bring 5 A's and a B home. So what the fuck is this B?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a high B. Oh, okay, but it's a B.
Yeah.
Why you bring me a fucking B? Get that shit out of here. That was my dad. All A's, 1 B. Get that shit out of here. Don't bring me that shit.
Yeah.
Don't bring me half-ass. So that's the last name, and it's a thing that we stand on. I'm not putting out a bullshit product that has my father's last name on it.
Yeah. Can I see one of those really quick?
Absolutely.
Let's do this. Stop if you're listening to the podcast or if you're watching it on YouTube. Let's give some masks away.
Let's do
I
that.
love it.
Okay, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to text "Give me a mask" to 937-303-4788. 937-303-4788. And all you need to say is "Give me a mask" and put your address in there. And because you're listening and you get to hear the behind the scenes stuff, the why, we will send you a Henry mask.
Absolutely.
They're the best
You know
masks
what?
I've
We'll
seen.
send you a 4-pack.
Oh,
Okay.
Hey, look, you know what I'm saying? One is
he
just
goes big.
I love
I can't
it.
give a mask away without the guy wanting to give 4 away.
I love it.
that's how we do, baby. Go big or go home.
It's good.
I ain't going home yet.
It's good.
Yeah.
So are you continuing with like the t-shirt, sweatshirt, those
So,
designs?
As we started building the mask brand, it started doing really well, just straight out the gate. First month it did amazing. Second month it did far beyond our expectations. Third month has been spectacular. So, I built a big infrastructure to run the mask brand. Like we got 31 employees on the mask side.
Wow.
So it's like, okay, let's build this so it can run itself, because I'm still a designer. I'm still Richfresh. I still got to, focus on building that thing. And so now that we've got it to a point where it's operating itself, I don't have to make any masks. I got production managers, office managers, shipping manager, all the bases are covered. Customer service.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got our production. We make everything in Los Angeles. We oversee it all. So I don't have to worry about that shit, which frees me up to now focus on building out my ready-to-wear line. Like, what would Richfresh be if it wasn't custom? Let's go back to that idea that I had before the mask. What would I build this as if I was going to sell this product on a website?
Yeah.
So will that be under the Henry brand or
Rich
this
Fresh,
is
baby.
Richfresh? Okay.
Yeah.
So Henry's remaining just masks.
Yeah, Henry is going to be masks, and it'll evolve at some point to like other products in the medical space.
Okay.
Just cool shit.
That's
I'm
awesome.
still a designer, so I got a cool aesthetic, and I'm gonna pass that aesthetic on to all the different products. But Rich Fresh is still Rich Fresh. HenryMask.com, or if you're on Instagram, it's Henry Masks, plural.
Oh, Henry masks.
Yeah,
I like it.
That's good.
yeah.
Go on.
Yeah. Tell me about how. So you're sending your family on vacation so you can stay home and sew.
Yeah.
So how and when did they find out what you were doing?
They didn't find out till I told them. Like my senior year in high school, I decided to take a home ec class because I had been sewing. I was pretty good, but I wanted to get better. I didn't learn shit in home ec, really.
Sure.
I ended up
Yes.
teaching the home ec for 6 weeks. Our teacher had to leave on some medical leave. And she had a hysterectomy or something crazy. And we had a substitute teacher in that couldn't sew.
Oh,
But,
perfect.
we just had an adult. So you got an adult that's
Excellent.
like,
Yeah.
who can do the demonstrating?
Yeah.
He was the best sewer in the class, and I was the best sewer. So I got up and did that thing. And at that point, all the kids in school are like, oh, shit,
Yeah.
this dude sews. But he got all the girls. So,
Yeah.
okay, well, whatever. So it was just like, whatever. Plus, he dresses well. He's going to be a fashion guy. Like, people in high school knew I was going to be a fashion dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
My parents just didn't know. They thought it was, like, foolish. Why are you spending all your damn money on these clothes all the time?
For sure.
Oh, my God, they were so pissed. Like, you just got paid, and where's the rest of your money? It's in
Right.
the closet.
Right.
So yeah,
Worked out though.
Oh, it definitely worked out. But yeah, when I graduated, obviously before I graduated, when the scholarship offers came in,
Yeah.
that's when I said, so look, these are all great, but I also have a scholarship offer from this art school. So there was this Art Institute of, I think the Art Institute of Atlanta had given me a scholarship, and they had a fashion program. And my parents were like, what the fuck is this? He's like, all right. He's like, I thought you stopped doing it, because I used to draw all the time. They were like, I know you're still in the art. Like, I thought you stopped that shit. Well, yeah, I did, but now I'm into fashion. You're into what? Fashion? The fuck is that? It's clothes, like designing clothes.
Yeah.
So what are you saying? I want to go to
What
fashion
year-
school.
what year
and
is
design
this?
clothes.
What year is this?
98.
Yeah, see, I mean,
okay.
in today's day and age with social media everywhere, it would be a lot easier to sell
Yeah.
that story to someone.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
In 1998, it's not that easy of a
Hell
story.
No, it was
Yeah.
like, dude, you're the oldest. Like I'm the oldest, and like I'm intellectually advanced. So like,
Oh, what
That
a,
shit is
what a
easy.
great way to say that.
Mm-hmm.
you can't say I'm really
Smart guy.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that shit was easy to me. So, you know, generally that person goes to a big Ivy League school,
Sure.
becomes some, you know, whatever for somebody. And I had seen that. Like my dad did a really good job of making sure that I saw that type of person growing up. I
Yeah.
saw black CEOs when I was a teenager, you know, of like Fortune 500s, Fortune 100s. Like I was seeing this. I'm in their offices. We're having convos. I'm dealing with people in political spaces. So I knew that was possible.
Yeah.
What I didn't know was possible was this. And so I just had this epiphany one day, and it's like I saw two different realities. One that was like what I had seen, and I saw one that was unseen. And I was just like, I want to see some different shit. I don't want to see the TV show I've already seen. I want to watch a different movie. So I just prompted me to just like stick to it. And they thought I was crazy. They thought I was even crazier when I dropped out. Cause it was just like, damn, like you're the one, bro. You're supposed to fucking done this shit. I was like, nah, I am the one. I just got to do it different. But to your question, like how was I know you're asking like when they found out, but like the whole going on vacations and how they find out, they never found out. Like I made it such a point to make sure that no one, not even like, 'cause I'm real close to my brother Chase. Nope. Cause if Chase finds out, my brother Phelan's gonna find out.
Yeah.
Phelan finds out, my mom's gonna find out. My mom can't hold water if you put it in a fucking cup and hand it to her. She's not gonna hold it. She's gonna drop it. So I was like, nope.
What was the reasoning for that in your mind, in your young mind at the time?
My dad was very macho.
Yeah.
Very macho, man.
Got it.
Good guy, but just
Sure.
very macho. He grew up in
Well,
Ohio.
who wants their sons to become a tailor?
Not even a tailor, a fashion designer.
Sure.
Because if I had said I want to be a tailor, it probably would have been perceived differently. Oh, really? How so? I want to make suits.
Yeah.
I want to do something like the masculine
Yeah.
version of this thing.
Yeah.
Right.
It may have been perceived different, but I didn't know shit about tailoring. I didn't want to be a tailor. I wanted to be
For
a
most
designer.
men and fathers, that would be an insult on their masculinity.
Absolutely. And an insult on their potential.
Yeah.
You have the potential to be a doctor. You want to be a fucking seamstress?
Yeah.
Would have been like
I love
that
it. I love.
mentality.
See, the guy even knows how to sell the story with the word seamstress.
So
Yeah.
good. It's so
Don't
good.
sleep on this guy, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think at the time you realized that you were also creating a safe space to fail? Did you know at the time?
I didn't. Not at
Yeah.
all.
I mean, that's a characteristic of entrepreneurs, that we want to keep things as quiet as possible, not because we're afraid of what other people perceive to be our failures. We don't want all of the extra meaningless conversation and weight and energy. We know that we got to use all of that energy to create something great. And so we keep it quiet because we just don't want to deal with all the talk.
Yeah.
And that's what you're doing. You know what I mean?
That's what I do in general. Like
Sure.
I'm not one of those guys that goes blabbing when I have an idea.
Right.
I'm going to show you once I've
Right.
put it out there.
Yeah.
You're not going to hear about it until it's time for you to see it.
But I don't know that I knew that early on as an entrepreneur. I think I've learned that in hindsight.
Right.
You know what I mean? That we kind of think like, I need to keep this quiet. But in reality, you already knew that it wasn't going to be worth the criticism that would come from people that just didn't understand. Doesn't make them bad people.
Right.
They just didn't understand your dream, and you didn't want to deal with
Yeah.
them trying to enforce their dream on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, you know, in all areas of life, like you can ask advice, you can seek advice, but you should seek it from someone with a credible
Right.
standpoint.
Right.
If I'm talking about my desires to do fashion, I'm only talking to people who have no concept of it. I'm really shooting myself in the foot. I'm hurting myself because am I expecting them to understand it? No.
Right.
I expect them to be against it. And some, you know, it's crazy too. I've noticed some people do that shit all the time. They'll take something to a group of people that they know are just going to tear it apart.
Right.
They'll do it anyhow. Like
Yeah.
they like that experience. I hate that experience. Like I don't allow anyone to belittle or poke holes in something I think is great.
Yeah. Well, there's so much to be said about that. You know, the average person can listen to what you just said and say, oh, well, this guy's a lone ranger, that his pride and ego are attached to his products. But Steve Jobs would not have said it that way. Right. Steve Jobs was a firm believer in, you don't ask your potential customer of the future what they want. You go and create it and show them what they want. Yeah. And if you believe in your dream and your passion, you know, I really think that one of the reasons why a lot of people's passion product or their product doesn't get to the market is because just what you pointed out, they take it to a group of people that have not been impregnated with the magic of that idea, and it just gets absolutely torn apart.
Yeah, sure.
Like even with everything I've done, like with Richfresh, yeah, it's dope now, but I remember when I had the idea for the track pants.
Yeah.
And I told a buddy of mine about him. I've been making suits for this kid, and I told him like, yo, I'm gonna do these track pants. And he was like, for what? I'm like, because, you know, just like some different shit, like some shit I'd wear. He was like, okay, that's cool. How much you gonna charge for them? I told him I was gonna charge, like I charged $1,000 a pair when I first launched them. They're like $1,500 now. He was like, you fucking idiot. Are you high? You're a suit maker. What the fuck are you doing making sweatpants? Dude, don't do that shit. Dumb fucking move.
Yeah.
No, you shouldn't do it. And I remember telling him, shut the fuck up. Like, man, shut the fuck up. I didn't ask you your fucking opinion. I just was having a conversation. I told you something. Told the same person about the yellow tab one day because he was just in my circle. At one point, he was operating as like my business manager.
Yeah.
But I just saw like, you think I'm supposed to operate based on your vision. Right. That's not how we do this. Yeah. I'm the visionary.
Yeah.
The yellow tab, I told him about that. And I remember him like, no one's going to want that on their shit, bro. Like people are going to think that that's like a tag. They're going to want to cut that off.
Yeah.
No one's going to want that on their suit. Yes, they will. They're not. Like, what about a tuxedo? Would you put it on a fucking tux? Like if someone's getting married, then would you do it? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what if it's black? Like, what if it's a black suit?
Yeah. Isn't.
Okay. Like, it was just like, that's dumb. It's dumb. I was like, you know what? You're not a person who's qualified to have this conversation with me.
Well, they just totally don't get the idea that the yellow tag is a representation of something greater.
Absolutely.
A commitment to quality and a commitment to a way of life that speaks louder than the disruption. The disruption's on purpose.
Absolutely. You know, and it's like, if I was putting together a mediocre product that didn't have any value in the marketplace, then people would want to cut the yellow tab off.
Right.
But the opposite has happened.
Yeah.
It's a great product. The price point's amazing. So when people see it,
they know that you gave three months of your life earning money to afford it because you believed in it that much.
Straight up. Absolutely. It's like a red bottom shoe. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It doesn't make your feet any prettier, but I sure think they are.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, again, it's energy in motion, right? Like that suit represents something. It literally is energy in motion, communicating a message. You know, some people might be tempted to look at you and say, well, look at the advantages this guy has had. You know, he's a smart guy. He could have gone anywhere he wanted to go to school. He had all of these scholarship offers, you know, all of this stuff. But what people probably don't know that is within the last couple of years, you were actually homeless.
Oh, yeah. Extreme adversity.
And so here you are, the tailor daring Hollywood to change, and all of these articles written about you with a successful company. But it was just months ago, really, that you were on the street without a roof over your head.
Months ago.
Really?
Less than 30 months ago.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. The winter of 2017, I'm moving out of this apartment. You know, I was renting a room from the guy that was like my business manager. And I just didn't like the nature of our relationship at that point. So I was like, I'm going to dip. I took my money. I had, $8,000. It's enough to get an apartment in LA. All right, let me get an apartment. Let me do all that shit. But I didn't. And, you know, it's interesting. Sometimes I've noticed in life, I don't do the thing that I thought I was going to do.
Sure.
And I don't know why. Like, why didn't I do that? Because there was an experience I was supposed to have. And sometimes, you know, I don't know, like that's happened throughout my life. Like, damn, I didn't move on that. And then something happened, but it was the best thing ever. So I left, had my little money, and I just went. I was like, let me just get a hotel room. Let me just bullshit. Let me get a hotel room for a night, for a week, and then I hit up a client to go do some work with him, and did some work. He was super rich, so you just assume he got all the money in the world. He asked me to make a gang of suits for him, and I was like, well, shit, yes, I'm about to make money.
Yeah.
I put my money up to make these suits.
Right.
Stupid move. Business people, don't put your money up to make shit for people who have money. Put their money up. And so
Makes sense, right? But as a young entrepreneur, you don't know that, because
I should have known that.
well, your ego says I don't need to tell them that I need that money, but
True.
you couldn't be more right about that.
And then, also the ego of just assuming that since this person has,
They're gonna
that they're going to honor their word. So I did that shit. I spent all my money to produce these 6 suits. And I was supposed to get $15,000 check for that. And he fucked me, man. He never paid me. And he lied. He said his accountant was going to pay me, and he ran off, and he never fucking paid me. Turns out he was doing everybody like that. His motherfuckers was suing him for millions and millions and millions of dollars.
So you would have been down on the totem pole even if you did try to sue.
And I was so far down, like 15,000. This motherfucker suing this guy for millions. Was 15,000.
Yeah.
So I looked up and I was like, shit, I don't have any money. And I reached out to a few friends of mine. I had 10, well, more than 10, but there were 10 people who I was really close to during that time. Like I was either sleeping with the chicks or hanging with the guys, but there was closeness, and we were seeing each other frequently. They knew who I was. And I hit them up like, yo, it's your boy. Just hit a little tough spot. I got a client. I'm waiting for this check. Man, my money's kind of fucked up. Can I crash on your couch for like a day? Or just a night, and I'll be up in the morning to get at it. Just like a night, maybe no more than 2.
Yeah.
Of the 10 people that I reached out to, shout out you famous 10. It's y'all motherfuckers' fault that I'm here now. They all said no. All 10 of them said no. They said, I don't really do that.
That's crazy.
What? Chicks I was sleeping with was like, I don't really do the couch thing. Like I was fucking you last week. What do you mean? Like I stayed the night. What you mean? So when it's cool, but if I need help. And it was so discouraging, like people I really expected. I had a rich friend in Memphis. I told him about my situation. And he was like, well, bro, what you need, I was like, man, if you could just front me an Airbnb for a couple weeks. I don't need money. I just need
a roof over your head.
Change the situation. Like I'm in a fucking shelter. Like I go to sleep every night on these little yoga mats. Arms reach from a motherfucker who, might be a junkie, might be whatever. I remember this one night, I'm sleeping in the shelter, and a motherfucker took a shit on himself while I was asleep. A big nasty shit. He was right next to me.
Yeah.
And so I wake up hearing this shit, and I look up, and this motherfucker done shit himself. And I took a photo of it, and I took a photo of my facial expression, like how disgusted I was with myself. It was a real dark period.
Sure.
Like everyone had let me down. This person that says he's gonna do the Airbnb. I get back to LA, like, yo, I just got back to town. He was like, oh man, can you hold off a minute? A friend of mine just passed, and I need to help his girls out. I need to make sure that they're straight, which I'm not against that, but like, you got credit cards, right? You're rich. What the fuck is 2 weeks of Airbnb? It's a choice. You chose not to. So after that experience, I was like, I can't ask my mom because she'll freak out if she knows that I'm like this. So I can't talk to my brothers. Same thing.
Yeah.
I can't tell my brothers I'm sewing because it'll get back to my mom.
Sure.
So I couldn't even tell my brother that I was in this situation. So I'm just like every night I'm walking around, and it's nice that I didn't have money to get into the shelter. I just had to like sleep at a park bench or just walk around till 4 a.m. and just try and catch 2 hours somewhere.
It's
you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely fascinating what you have to do to protect the seed of your dream to get it to grow and to get it to go to market. I mean, people do not understand the technical definition of an entrepreneur is someone that is willing to take on more risk to create something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and you literally are having to keep it from your family in order to protect your dream, because if you called them and said, I'm homeless, they would have said, see, I told you, quit fooling around with that
and
seamstress
come out
stuff.
here.
Yeah.
Because like my mom was in Houston. She just said, come out here and stay with me instead of me moving my mom out to LA to stay with me, which is what we ended up doing.
Yeah.
But so yeah,
It's fascinating though.
Yeah, but it was a choice because I saw an outcome, and honestly, like most of this comes from the fact that I don't feel like I'm really good at anything else.
Yeah.
As good as I am at this, so as unsuccessful as I was, I had abandoned tailoring for a minute, and I was going to be a life insurance agent.
Yeah.
I'd gone through the course and everything, went through my training, got my certification,
crazy,
all
man.
that shit. I went through weeks of fucking
Crazy,
training,
man.
and I couldn't go pick it up. Like they called me like, "Hey, we got your certificate. So proud of you. You did amazing. You were on the top in the class." Oh, great, thanks. When do you want to come pick it up? Yeah, probably sometime this evening.
Yeah.
My feet wouldn't move.
Yeah.
For some reason, it just like wouldn't let me go pick it up. And that was the thing I'm telling you. Sometimes like I don't move in a certain direction.
Sure.
And I couldn't do it. And one day I was like, why the fuck won't you go pick this thing up?
Yeah.
Because if I pick this up, I mean, I got to start something brand new that I don't know shit about. When you know everything there is to know about tailoring, you're going to quit the thing that you know better than anyone else to start doing some shit you don't know shit about, expecting a different outcome than you got with the shit you know. No, Jack, that's you.
Yeah.
You're the problem here. It's not the thing you're doing. You can't run away from this shit. So I was like, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to stick to it.
But it's another consistent stop on the journey of birthing something out of nothing that I have found. It is usually the counterfeit that comes right before the real. And here
before the storm.
Here you are, you've put all of this time in, you've been willing to sleep without a roof over your head, you've given it all, and someone planted an idea that, man, maybe you just need to go do something easier and get that check for working 9 to 5 and give up on your dream. Mm-hmm. And if you would have done that and you would have gone and picked it up, you wouldn't be here today.
No. I'd be unhappy and depressed.
Because you sold your dream for cheap money.
For cheap fucking money. And I just couldn't do it. Even in like my situation. I got this is the crazy thing. So, I ain't got no money at the time and I'm homeless and shit. And a friend of mine had hit me up and said, hey, you should check Burberry. Burberry's hiring right now.
Okay.
I told my friend about you. She runs it. They're looking for a tailor. I'm like, all right, cool, bet. So I do the whole interview and shit, and sure enough, I was like, cool. She's like, the job pays $60,000. I was like, I'd really prefer 70. She was like, okay, well, I'll talk about it. We'll figure it out, but I'll hit you back soon. So leave. I'm like, okay, there's a chance I might have a job. My finances will be better. She don't know I'm homeless. She don't need to. And so a couple weeks later, I get a phone call. Hey, how are you? This is Burberry. Just giving you a call. Oh shit, yeah, what's up? No, just so excited. Got great news. You got the job. Really? You got the job. Oh shit. Yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to take it right now. Whoa, no. We're gonna do it at 70. I talked to them and they were like, you know what? Yeah, why not? This guy's talented. Let's start him at 70. So excited for you. Did you want to come in this week and get started? No, listen, you're not hearing me. I can't take the job. Like, what do you mean you can't take the job? You just fucking came here and I went to bet on your behalf to give you more money. It's like, if I take this job, it's going to take me away from the thing that I'm focused on. I got something I got to finish up. I just feel like this job is going to be a distraction. I'm never going to see it. She's like, dude, I can't hold this position for you. You don't understand. I had to go and fight for you to get this.
Yeah. I
get it and I appreciate it, but I got something that's more important.
Amazing.
With nothing. I had shit. I had like $40 in my pocket. I just turned down.
Just to show you what it takes to get your dream, your baby to be born. You're reminding me so much of Kevin Hart right now. So excited.
So excited.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I hang with him for a while. You just pick up on things.
Do you know whatever happened with that cheerleader who? Because that feels like kind of the origin of the story.
We're still very good friends. Like, we met in Little Rock. Her name's Tamara. Shout out Tamara.
What's up, Tamara? Thank you.
Yes,
thank you so much.
But she ended up moving to Memphis.
Oh gosh.
Crazy shit. I'm hanging out one day over by the University of Memphis, and I go into this little pizza cafe. And it's a small little spot. They do these little pizzas on like English muffins.
Oh.
I remember eating them when I was a kid. So I was like, oh, this is cool. This is nostalgic. And it's this young dude that runs it. It's this young black kid named Earl. And I was like, yo, what's up? And I had seen Earl before in some nightclubs. He had a little business like as like a valet attendant in the bathrooms. You know
Okay,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
He would have people
Love
there.
it.
They dry your
Yeah,
hands.
love
They
it.
give you a spray of cologne.
Love it.
So we started talking about like his hustle. I admired his hustle. Like, yo, I admire your hustle, bro. Tell me
For
more
sure.
about this shit. So he's telling me about it. And then he's like, yo, tell me about you, bro. Where you from? I'm like, man, I actually, I used to live in Little Rock before I moved here. And, oh, man, my wife's from Little Rock. No shit. Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. What high school you go to? I never went to high school there, but, I went to middle school there. I went to Horace Mann. Damn, she went to Horace Mann. Are you serious? Dude, my wife went to Horace Mann. What year she graduated high school? 98. That means I was in middle school with her. Yeah. What's her name? Tamara Harden. I didn't go to school with Tamara Harden. Is that her married name or her maiden name? Oh, it's her married name. No, you're right. Her maiden name is Tamara Futrell. I almost pissed on myself.
I bet. I
That
bet.
is
myself. I was
wild.
in this motherfucker like, bro, oh my God. I owe her so much.
Yeah.
And at that point, like, I already had my tailoring business operational. And I was so confident. Like, I was like the guy. I was like, yo, let me tell you about your wife.
Yeah.
And he was like, as most guys, like, you know my wife? I'm like, yeah. Hear me out. And I told him the story, and he was just like, that's fucking crazy. He called her. Baby, you're not going to believe who I'm here with. I'm going to put you on speakerphone. Tamara, what's up? Who's this? It's Pat Henry. What the fuck? And she went crazy, but it was so cool. Like, so, I mean, even to this day, we're still connected on the gram. I see her husband all the time. He'll fly out to Memphis, and we just connect. I do like brand consulting with him, just
Sure.
like on the love, like how can you do things that improve the reach of your brand? I've made him suits. Like I do all kind of shit. Like, man, y'all, your wife really helped me out.
Yeah.
Straight up.
You never know, right? And just getting back to, and this is probably a good way to bring the podcast to a close. You don't know who that person that comes across your path is that's going to dramatically change your life because you gave them the respect and dignity to speak into your life.
Absolutely.
And I imagine you did not start the tutoring with the sense that this person was going to change your life and a lot of other people's lives because of her advice. But look at what came from just one encounter where the person that you were actually tutoring that was supposed to be listening to you gave you some advice that has changed your life and a lot of others' lives because of it.
I did know that was going to be the outcome. Like, because this is like the crush. She was the girl. She was the cheerleader.
Yeah.
She dated the captain of the football team. So she was like the girl.
Yeah.
And I remember the first day of tutoring, I'm walking in, I got butterflies and shit because I'm like, fuck, I finally get a one-on-one with this girl. I wonder what I can say to make her like me. And God spoke to me, and he was like, she has a greater purpose.
Yeah.
Don't fuck up her greater purpose.
Wow.
Focusing on this service level shit. That's not what you're here for. That's not what she's here for. You have information that's going to help her. She has information that's going to help you. You need to tap her for information. Fuck all that other shit. Tap her for information. And I just knew what information to ask. And I just like, first day, I was like, hey, what's happening? Glad we're doing this tutoring. So before we get started, quick disclaimer. You and I are never going to happen. It's out the cards. It's not going to happen. It's not a thing. I'm with that. I'm sure you're with that. It's totally cool. Cool? All right. Just want to get that out the way. I think you're great. You're really pretty, but I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable. Like, this is what it is.
Yeah.
I just think you're really nice, and you've always been very nice to me. I appreciate it. So check this out. I'm very good at math. You're not as good as math, or as me in math. I'm terrible with girls. You're actually the type of girl
You're
that
hot.
I would go for.
Yeah.
So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to teach you math. I need you to teach me girls. That was like our first conversation. She was like, all right, fuck it. Let's go.
I mean, you having the ability, right, to hear God tell you that she's got a purpose and you're not to get in the way.
Right.
If this hanky would come out of my suit coat that's not as nice as the ones you make, I would just shake it, brother. You're preaching. What? What in the world? You came to Ohio to preach.
13. That is not the kind of
Now, I don't know that anyone's ever done
conversations I was
this,
having at 13.
right? But Urkel,
Right.
Tiger Woods, and Richfresh. Just nerds, man. Just nerds that are changing the world.
Yeah.
Changing the game. Stefan Urkel.
Yeah. Yes, Stefan.
The boy went from Steve to Stefan.
I opened the
Straight up,
podcast
baby.
telling people not to sleep on this guy. What don't you know? See?
I mean, I am curious, and I know that we're ending soon, but I am curious, like where your business mind.
Right.
Is that just kind of in you? Is it something that?
My dad was always business minded. Like,
Okay.
he didn't spend a lot of time bullshitting. We didn't spend a lot of time playing sports, playing basketball, throwing footballs. We would spend our time talking about like self-development. Or I just ask him like, I would listen to him a lot. We'd get in the car and he would always have NPR on.
Yeah.
We wouldn't get in the car, listen to the radio. He's listening to NPR and we're having conversations. He knew I was smart enough to understand him as an adult. So he would just have adult conversations with me about life, about being a black man, about like my responsibility in life. And you're a kid, so you're like, whatever, Dad, can we get to where we're going?
Right.
But these things stick. And I always wanted to be like my dad in a sense. I wanted to be like him, but different.
Yeah.
He always had the books. He had Dave Covey. So he had Covey, he had Tony Robbins, he had Zig Ziglar, he had all the books in his library.
Yeah. 7 Habits of a Highly Effective Person. I think Stephen Covey.
Yeah, Stephen Covey.
Yeah.
Stephen Covey.
Oh yeah.
Dave Ramsey was the
Yeah.
Yes.
So Stephen Covey, Dave Ramsey, like he had all these books. And I'd see him like devouring. He'd read a fucking book so quick.
That's
He
awesome.
could speed read.
Yeah.
So he'd read a book in like no time. And I always admired that. So as a teenager, these are the books that I'm going to. I never got into reading fiction. I always read self-development books. And Tony Robbins was like one of my favorite. I would listen to his audio tapes as a teenager.
Yeah.
I listened to the tapes
awesome.
over and over and over. So, the big word in the household when I was a kid was entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Everyone wanted to be an entrepreneur. And I saw my dad try to be an entrepreneur a lot. He started Amazon before Amazon. And he started an Amazon back in fucking 92. But it was premature. I saw him do other things. It didn't really work out too well. I just always was like, I'm gonna commit myself to this thing. The thing that I saw him wanting to do that he couldn't really do, and he died before he got a chance to do it. I'm gonna do that shit.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that we say here is that your life outlives your breath. And what is awesome, and again, Jesus was an advocate for this, that though our physical body might go on, our life lives on. And it is very, very clear that your Father is still alive, and his life is living through you.
100%.
Yesterday when Fresh was on the table at Body Garage, one of the things that was heard and spoken out was just like how proud his father is of him, and just you fought through and protected your dream, right, at all costs, to include a roof over your head in order to bring it to a place where others would benefit from it. And so
Absolutely.
Congratulations to you, man. Just
Incredible.
so much respect for all that you have accomplished and what you're doing. We appreciate you coming on here on the podcast.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I appreciate being invited.
And we'll definitely have you back when you get back into Dayton to visit the garage.
Yeah, we'll talk about some more fly shit. Guaranteed.
Yes.
All the time. Ladies and gentlemen, episode 25 with our special guest, Rich Fresh. Rich Fresh, thank you very much.
You're very, very welcome. So excited to be here.